Started here doing my double duty, getting myself centered. We're all good. And let me send out my little welcome message here. Hope everybody's doing well. And we'll get started in a minute. Okay. So here we go. Coming into being. Welcome to another uh, evening of coming into being. And do this every Wednesday on a weekly basis. And just to get you uh, provide you that space to come in, to relax, to chill, and really take that time to connect with yourself. So we kind of have a little focus each time, and depends what's needed in the group, but really just giving providing that space for you to just have that time, that space to connect, because things are shifting very quickly for people. So uh, it's just nice to have that. So I'm also looking two different places because I have my computer here and I have my phone here for Instagram. So um, that's why I'm going up and down. Anyway, so let's just take a moment. Let's just start by taking a moment to just take some deep breaths. It's always nice to get some deep breaths, and you can. One thing that I like to have people do is just exhale out the breath completely, all the way to the bottom, and then, hey, Kayla, and then just as far as you can, squeezing all the air out of your lungs, and that your breath will come right back in automatically. So let's do that. And one of the reasons that's nice to do that is if you're feeling a little stressed out, feel a little anxious or tense, doing that will get you kind of just focused in on what you're doing in the breath. Where the breath is something we really kind of like, okay, wait, I gotta catch my breath there. But it comes in back in automatically, so kind of that helps to reset you. So just to kind of do some of those couple breaths, not necessarily going all the way out, but just allowing yourself to relax even more with each breath and kind of slow down the pace. And then come into the chest, the heart space. And it's the human heart, but it's a lot more than just the human heart. There's a much deeper connection with ourselves in this space. And when I say with ourselves, I mean with our spirit self, with our higher self, however you want to term it, but a deeper aspect of ourselves that connects into the universe, beyond our human self. So it's good to take that time to connect in more deeply with ourselves and come into that deeper connection with our what we truly are, our essence, and coming into the heart spaces is a way of doing that. So allow your breath to come into a slower pace, bringing your awareness into the chest area, and without losing yourself, losing your sense of your environment in that. So staying being connected with where you are by just having that awareness that you are, in the room you're sitting in. If you're outdoors listening to this, the area where you're in, that's surrounding you. And if you have your eyes closed, noticing the light coming in through your eyelids, noticing the sounds that are coming at you. And sounds are kind of interesting when we slow down. Sometimes it's happened to me when I slow my mind down enough. It's like catching like this wave that's the sound wave that's coming through the air, through the ethers. So see if you notice that for yourself. Notice your clothes touching your skin, what you're sitting on. And all as you're doing that with that breath and your awareness, you can have your awareness centered in your chest as you're noticing this your environment. You know, in fact, it's what you want to be able to do, because when you're able to do that, then you're able to stay within yourself, be centered in yourself while being aware of whatever's happening around you. And sometimes the mind kind of freaks out. So it's like, no, no, we've got to be really focused on over here, over that, and your mind kind of pulls you off, pulls you out of here. So just kind of like, okay, yes, that's fine. We can take care of that later. Just for this moment, just for right now. Let's just kind of connect it. Yeah, giving kind of a little bit of that directive to the mind. It's okay. We can get back to that other stuff later. And allow yourself to kind of really come into that core, a sense of that core channel. So it's a couple things you can do with that to really connect in. If you know what I'm talking about, that's good. You can just connect right on in. If you don't, here's kind of a tip for you for this. First, like, feel your spine. Have a sense of your spine. And see if you can have a sense of your spine as if you're looking at it or feeling it from the inside of your body, not the outside in your back, but on the inside. So that's already helping to pull you in more deeply, more aligned. And there is what I'll use the term energy. People use other terms, but energetic structure that runs through you. It's like this pure essence that's running through you at this core. It's a little bit in front of that, of the spine there. So you can imagine just a line, if you want, just kind of have that image in your mind, just to give your mind something to be occupied with. And allow yourself to feel, see if you can have a sense of that. And just open up to feeling yourself connecting into that core channel. Goes right through your torso, out your head, out both directions, connecting it into the ethers. And just clearing out a little bit, just to help people shift into this more deeply and connect in more deeply. Yeah, that's good. And all the way down in the other direction too, clearing that out. There we go. Much better, much more, much brighter. Might have a sense of more brightness in you. Might feel more tingling. You might even feel more expansive. So it's kind of feels like, well, kind of the opposite of just coming into that center. But when we really come into our that core and that center of ourselves, and we really pull into that alignment and bring our awareness into that, then there's this expansion that happens. You kind of open up at a deeper level. So allowing yourself to stay present with that and relax into that. And let's see what we can do, how deep we can go with just allowing ourselves to connect with stillness inside in that core channel. When you really drop into that, get to the point where you know you've really connected in, when all of a sudden it just feels like there's this silence all around. And it's not because it's silent in the physical world, it's because it's silent. You've tapped into that deeper space for yourself. Allowing yourself to come into that connection, just focus on connecting in. If your mind wanders off, just say, okay, yeah, there you are. And bring it back to focusing on that centering, center core, center alignment. So we've hit kind of a first level of stillness there. If you feel that. Let yourself feel into that. See how that feels. Kind of sensations you notice being at this kind of first level. Sometimes we go in deeper, sometimes we might just stay here. When the group is ready, and the group is anybody who's watching currently as well as anybody who will join later in person. When the group is ready, then it might happen, it might not. We're already at level, kind of, we'll just say level one. But when there's this coherence that happens for everybody, then automatically go to a deeper level. So let's not worry about that. Let's just come into deeper breath, into that core alignment, allowing ourselves to feel that stillness and the deeper relaxation that comes in when we enter deeper stillness. It's actually very restorative for the body to do this, and coming into this deeper space. It's like it allows the cells to harmonize, to get into that coherence also. And when we get into higher coherence at all these levels, energetic, emotional, mental, physical levels, we'll find that greater coherence. And so for the cells, that means, and for all of those, just means that there's a release that happens, because to be at a high level of coherence than we were a minute ago, whatever's in the way to not be in that state of coherence will release. It's a vibrational thing, you know. Whatever doesn't match that vibration of that higher coherence level drops away. So keep allowing yourself to breathe in to that core alignment. To really opening up. I'm seeing that opening up. Uh, there's a lot more intake from in the group. So coming in through the head. So we'll move it down for people. There's kind of this expansion, actually, this expansion that's happening at the that core um, as we come into greater coherence and alignment to that stillness. So you might feel it moving down. It's kind of moving through the head, through the neck, just kind of moving its way down. It's a little bit past the neck, but and some of you might be a little further down, but generally the whole group is a little past the neck now. Yeah. Down to solar plexus. Yeah, there's a bit of I'm gonna just term it relationship issues. Relationship is not necessarily just with people. It's our connection to anything in existence. What's happening in that space between us and whatever, that's our relationship. So it's the space between the objects. So objects being termed anything that's a thing anywhere in existence. So relationship is about that space between, in between. So clearing, yeah, there we go, clearing that up. Helping that to move down into the lower abdomen. It's kind of a gentle influx of frequencies here. Allowing ourselves to just refresh and renew. Nothing fancy here, nothing like creating all this fancy stuff. I'm just saying fancy for a word. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and that's fine. But here, this is just really coming back to the simplicity of it all, and coming back into ourselves. Because if we don't do that, all the fancy stuff that we can we can be doing all these special activations and everything that we can be doing. If we don't come back to ourselves, if we're not connected to ourselves, that stuff won't do very much for us. Well, it might make us feel good in the moment, it might make us feel like we're really, wow, this was a fantastic experience. But if we aren't connected to ourselves, we don't connect to ourselves, then it's pointless. We're here in physical bodies, in physical beings on this physical earth to have this physical experience. And so it's fine to do all that other stuff, but we need to have this too. And we need to make sure that we are connected in with ourselves. Otherwise, whatever we do is going to derail us. No matter how good it feels, no matter how expansive and special effects it's going to bring us, special abilities. In the long run, if you're not connected to yourself, that will distort you and that will create more damage for you. Maybe not in the immediate moment, maybe not for a couple lifetimes, who knows? But it's we're here to be ourselves, not to disconnect from ourselves. So if we aren't connected with ourselves first, whatever we do, it is probably going to reinforce that instead of connecting us more in. So so what I would say, if you're drawn to other things, that's fine. That's good. That's nothing bad with that. But come into yourself first, connect with yourself, feel that connection to yourself first before you do anything else. And doesn't matter how good the teacher is. This is the most important thing for yourself, what you are, yourself, you. So honor that and respect that and cherish that. This here, you. And coming into that center alignment is kind of one of the mechanics of doing that. Breathing and breathing into this chest space, into this cosmic heart space. And feeling that strength from doing that. This isn't coming from outside of you, this is coming from within you. When it comes from within you, that's yours. So that there's a little bit of a question. It's like, well, sometimes we have distortions within ourselves. That's very true. But if you have distortions, the difference is that distortions will pull you away from that center. Like, distortions come up, you might all of a sudden notice your mind is off in all sorts of directions, pulling you away from connecting in, making you want to jump up and do something else, making the phone ring, actually, making, distractions come up in your life. And yes, it's literally how that happens. There's these distortions that we carry within ourselves. We can call that one of the terms used is like the pain body. So that this aspect of ourselves that's that's sort of this identity that we have that is about keeping us into a certain way of being. And so when we connect in, that gets a little dangerous because that can pull us into our true self instead of into who we believe ourselves to be. And so a lot of distractions get created from that thing that's trying to save its life and like keep you from going deeper, because when you go in deeper, you're going to break away from that. Let's take another nice deep breath into that center alignment, into our awareness, into the chest, into that center alignment, holding on to ourselves. Feeling that brilliance that we are internally. And really just embracing that. And allowing yourself in this moment to just feel love for yourself. So feeling of love directed to you, to put it in very mechanical terms. Just feeling that love and bringing it to here, to yourself. Yeah, it's a little bit hard. I can see some people having a little bit of some tension around that. It's bringing up some patterns to be cleared out around that. That's fine. That's good. That's good. And I'm glad it's showing up, because then I can just clear it out. Some distress, some sadness, some pain, some suffering. There we go. Yeah, releasing that judgment really comes down to, yeah, judgment of the self. There, yeah. So we can let that go. Yeah, very nice, very good. That was good. Good little clearing there. And relaxing back into, after that's shifted, coming back and a little bit more deeply into this connection to the self. Yeah, very nice. And just allow yourself to appreciate yourself in this moment, right here, right now. You've come this far. Appreciate the effort that you've put into coming this far. Yeah, very nice. So take a nice deep breath into that. Hold it at the top for a little bit, releasing slowly out the mouth. And then when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. Yeah, very nice. Okay, kind of a quiet, stillness, still evening. But good work, you know. It's not about, again, it's not about doing all these fancy things. This coming into being is just about taking that time for the basics of that connection to self. And we don't have to take a lot of time, you know, so here kind of do a half hour, but even if you do like 5 minutes for yourself. Hey, Laria, uh, just give yourself, you know, a minute. You went and, you know, as you brushing your teeth, kind of stop for a minute, take a deep breath in, come into here just for a couple breaths, and then go back to brushing your teeth. Okay, let me just check. Let's see. Checking on your checking on your son. Yeah. Yeah. He looks like he looks like he's kind of stopped and a little bit frozen in place, and it feels like he's yeah. There's distressed, lot of fear's coming up. He's going through a lot of emotional release and wants to move schools. Well, you know, sometimes doing stuff like that can uh, be really helpful because we're in an environment where there's so many reminders of things that we're trying to break away from, and it's really hard. And sometimes it's just easier to have a clean break and go somewhere else. You know, so people will do that through moving. Um, And that feels like there's a little bit of that. Already after a month, it's asking to leave school. Um, so I think that that's sort of what he's searching for is to have kind of be able to take that clean break. Uh, and wow, he's really sensitive too. Yeah. So it's those reminders and it's those n- non-physical reminders, and coming into that space is so automatically triggering him. Mm. Um, the thing I would want you to do with him, though, without just moving him, is to kind of have a deeper conversation about it's like, okay, we could move schools, but would that be enough to really take care of that? And part of the panics, you know, that he's feeling, that you know, the anxiety basically comes down to severe anxiety is not being able to hold himself, not being able to control himself. So he could move school, and that could be enough to just like finally just move it over, because there might be certain people at the school that are really bringing that up, and you know, stepping away that would help, but it doesn't guarantee that going to another school, that won't be coming up, that he won't get triggered. So I think it warrants a deeper conversation with him about what's going on and how to manage that for himself. And then you're saying the school he wanted doesn't have room for him. So it's like, you know, we can't always take these opportunities, have these opportunities to do that kind of switching out and moving on. So it's like, well, how do we manage that? Uh, okay, the thing is, I tried to reason with him, so I don't know exactly, but the way you're saying it doesn't sound really good because when you say I tried to reason it with him, is to try to make him. It's like, well, no, you can't really do this. So it doesn't sound like a conversation. So you do that, taking swift decisions like this could create other issues. So it's not that taking swift decisions will create other issues. It's that the issues that he's trying to step away from are not, he's not going to be able to step away from. So what is it, what are those issues? What is it that is bringing that up with him? And him being able to start identifying, talk about that would be really good. But he insists he can't enter the school doors. Um, and it also comes back to we talked the other day about the Bach remedies, that those can be extremely helpful to do that. One of the ways to work with the Bach remedies is to actually, well, to do kinetic testing with that. So just to um, test to see which ones work for him instead of reading the list. But even if you read the list and what they are, is to see what that is, and then it would be a combination of instead of just one. Um, but the first, it's he doesn't want to take them. So in other words, he doesn't really want to deal with his issues. And so let's just take a pause and take a deep breath into that, Ilaria. Just come into yourself, align with yourself. And part of the issue is that he's old enough to like try to make his own decisions, but then it's uh he's going to have to have some clarity as to, with whoever he's going to talk about this issue. Maybe, I don't know if they have school counselors over there, or somebody else, to really talk about what is causing that, what is coming up for him with that, to face that. um yeah, he's disconnected. I don't know if I can shift him enough right now, but so take a deep breath in, center yourself, and just to kind of breathe into yourself for a minute. Yeah, the biggest issue for him, that's coming up here is I moving to shift him some, is that he's just trying to run away from himself, and from himself meaning all the stuff that he has inside. So going to another school isn't gonna really take care of that, because he's just trying to get away from what's inside of him. Um, so if he won't talk to you, then ask him. See Get him to talk to somebody else to really open up to that. You know, it's tough because you want so much for things to go right to help other people, but this is, for example, it's like you can't force other people to help themselves when they don't want to, when they just keep wanting to run away. So it kind of anchored him, but he just I don't think that's going to hold because he just wants to just take out. I've asked him if he's well, it's not just the absence, it's a lot more complicated than or not complicated, but there's a lot more involved than just the absence of his father. Um, th uh, because you can the connection with the father isn't what it needs to be to begin with. It's not about how often the kids are with their parents. It's about the quality of the relationship to begin with. Quality of the relationship with his father is not there to begin with. So it kind of looks like, well, he's never with his dad. His father's always absent. It's like, that's really not the issue. You can have a really close connection. When you have that time together, it's really good. Doesn't matter how long apart you are. When you come back, it's there. So yeah, and so part of the thing is you're not as you're not as pulled into the drama, but you still are Ilaria. So that's part of the thing for you, is that this drama thing keeps coming up for you, and it's still that's the pattern that you're still running also of having that drama in your life. He didn't have no yeah, so see absence so you're saying it. He didn't have a nourishing connection with him. He was abused by his father. So it's not about an absent father. It's about the abuse. And the thing for you is to look at that drama piece also. Um, to see where else you need to shift that. And you are doing better than because you've brought up your kids before, and before you were just a little bit more all over the place, and you're actually holding a lot more stable, you know, and also being yeah. So you're doing good. Okay, let me look at Kayla. Random question, but I have been so tired this past week. Every fall, winter, I need a couple extra hours of sleep. At night, I'm curious, is this reduced uh, yeah, you do have this adjustment thing that you do, and part of it feels like it's that shift of season and, uh, I wanna say shift of the elements, so each season has, uh, uh, different combination of elements so that it feels like that there's that coming in. There's also a sense of adjusting to that spring and summer being over and it feels almost like a little depression around that. So needing more time to just kind of be able to face the winter coming coming up, if that makes sense. Oh, Francis. Hello, Francis. We're kind of coming to an end, so we're just kind of talking about stuff. And so let's take a moment to just come into a deeper place again for everybody, those just joining in and those who've been on for a while, and those with issues. Let's just put those issues aside for a minute and come back into that alignment, that centering of ourselves, finding that quiet space, no matter what is happening around us, those we love or in the space around us, taking that deep breath in, coming into the heart space, to the chest, coming into that core, just allowing ourselves to let go of everything that is not this very present moment, just for the moment, just for now. All that other stuff, we can always come back to it later. And allow yourself to feel, if you brought up an issue, to feel, to experience within yourself just a resolution of that problem, of that being, just experience that as being resolved. Feel that within yourself. Not saying that it will resolve the issue instantly for you, but it will start to activate, allowing you to have that come into to your life. Okay, well, it's coming to a close. Ran a bit longer than we usually do, but that's all right. Seeing, just holding that, Ilaria, especially holding that it's taken care of. Again, it might not be right away, but start to hold that in within yourself, to open up, to shift within you what needs to shift to allow that to come into your life. All right. Well, thanks for joining in early or late, and see you next Wednesday. Every Wednesday at I gotta figure out what time frame I'm in here. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, we're still in the same time. Got to check the time zone. At the end of October. France is going to change over, or Europe, and 9 p.m. in Europe, Central European time. So, thanks for stopping in, and take care and have a good rest of your day or evening or night. Take care, everybody.